Well, good morning and welcome again to another podcast. Down to earth, but heavenly minded. I'm your host, Irv. I thought I'd start out by sharing my screen because it fits perfect with my theme. Not that I'm going to talk about kangaroos, but I'm going to ask you a question. What is it that everybody in the world has? Bar none, everybody has this. It's family. Just like this little kangaroo has a family, comes into the world, has a mother, has a father. And as life goes on, a lot of people have more family, brothers and sisters, and then they start having aunts, uncles, cousins, and the list goes on. Family is very important. And with that said, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here. I picked this subject because I've really been blessed. I have a great family. I know that there are some out there that have family that, in small numbers, don't have many family, might only have one or two. Maybe lost a parent, lost both parents, but their parents most likely had family, so their families would be a little more in the past. Most likely aunts, uncles, cousins. But the Lord has given me enough life to where I have lived many years, and I have 6 children. I have 2 daughters and 4 sons. And I've had the blessing to see them all grow up, and they all have families of their own. And from my children, I have 15 grandchildren. And from my grandchildren, I got 8 great grandchildren. So the reason I'm talking about family right now is because Christmas is past, New Year's past, January 21st. But we haven't even celebrated our Christmas yet. We have some problems in our family where I have one daughter that been diagnosed with cancer, going through treatments, and we have pushed our Christmas out somewhat to where we got to celebrate it today. We're going to celebrate it this afternoon. And we always, when we get together for Christmas, we always play this game. It's kind of a tradition, the white elephant gift game, where you all sit in a circle and you roll dice, or there's other ways of doing it, and then you pass gifts around, and you can steal one another's gifts, and it gets to be quite fun. And this year, I have a special gift for my family, but I'm not going to talk about it. I will talk about it on my next podcast, so you can look forward to it. You won't know what the gift is till the next one. But the reason I'm talking about the family is the fact that not everybody's blessed the way I am. In the Bible, family was very important. That's how all these tribes, became nations. I want to just talk to you about one individual. His name was Israel. Yes, he's a nation. But he had 12 sons. His name wasn't Israel to start out with, but God renamed him Israel. And from his 12 sons, he became a nation. Well, what happened was there was a great famine in the land, and food was really scarce. The only place they had food was in Egypt. And that's because God gave Joseph a vision that there was going to be this 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. So he prepared for the famine. So they had food. And this was all God's plan. You have to go back and read the whole story because I'm leaving a lot of parts out. But Joseph's brothers came to Egypt to buy food, to buy grain. And Joseph was so well respected in Egypt because he preserved life that the Pharaoh of Egypt at that time made him have head of everything. Well, when his brothers came to Egypt, they came to stay in Egypt with Joseph. So it was a nation coming into another nation. And this family was not part of this family. They were different families. And what happened was there was like 70 people that at first came, the 12 sons and all their children and their children's children, just like mine, came to Egypt, and they became a great nation within a nation. In fact, they grew in numbers that they were outnumbering the Egyptians. Well, later on, when this Pharaoh died and another Pharaoh came into power, he realized that if they were attacked by another nation, and this nation, Israel, would side with their enemies, that they would, of course, be invaded. So Pharaoh came up with the idea he would just put them all in slavery and make them do forced labor. And that's what happened. They were in bondage. This whole family, there was 1 million of them or better by then. But God brought them out of Egypt. And when he brought them out, they wandered in the desert for 40 years. But they entered their land. I just got through doing a paper about Israel. It was from Edwin Fetch. He been writing about current events, but this was back in the 80s. It's kind of interesting to read about history in the making. I don't know, there's probably pretty close to 60 articles that I'm republishing. You got to read them. They're very interesting. Talks about a lot about politics of that day. Of course, Reagan was president during much of the writings. Gorbachev was in Russia. I mean, this is all history, but I lived through all this history. In fact, I can remember much of the attack on Pearl Harbor. I had a brother that was fought in the Second World War. I had a brother that was on the beaches of Normandy. He's seen firsthand all the action and the killing. War is terrible. Oh, just, my brother Jerry would not even talk for many, many years, and he would have nightmares. but he shared some stuff with me. He said, "You don't know what it is to kill a man, run a bayonet through him, and look him right in the face at the same time. Killing another human being. War is an atrocity." Well, I'm not here to talk about war. I'm talking about family. Now, I've only got one sister left. I got a few. Well, let's see. I think I only got one niece left. No, yeah, one niece left. I don't have any nephews left. I'm not sure, but I think all my aunts and uncles are deceased. So from my side of the family, it's pretty well gone. My sister is 2 years older than I am, so, and I don't think either one of us are going to be around very much longer. But I have a future family, that all those that are my children and grandchildren, great grandchildren. But I also have another family. It's my church family. Those that are like-minded, like me, who have put their faith and trust in Christ. We have become the family of God, and we have something in common. Not like Israel and Egypt. Now, Egypt actually is a picture of the world. And Israel at that time was really a picture of a family that was separate from the world. And we as Christians are separated from the world, that we are not of this world. That's where I came up with the title of my podcast. We're down to earth, but we're heavenly minded because that's where our home is. I'm looking for my home going, not my homecoming, but my home going. But then my home will be on earth someday again. The Lord's going to come down and he's going to reign for 1,000 years, and I'll be with my Lord. And he's gone to prepare a place for me. And he says, if I go to prepare a place for you, I'll come again and receive you, so that where I am, you will be also. Someday I'm going to be with the Lord, the one who created me, the one who saved me. He, H-E, is greater than I. Well, I guess it's backwards, but that's all right. I guess I could change that. Let me just fool around here a little bit. And I'm mirroring the video. No, I'm not mirroring it. Oop. He is greater than I. Okay. All right. That's what I have to say about family. Just remember, you are not alone in the world. You have a family. You have been blessed. God has given you this family. Be thankful for your family. Well, with that said, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Lord bless. And I got to stop there I stopped.